Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Wow, it feels like a lifetime since I've said that. Yeah, that is so weird. I haven't made a video in, oh hello, strange man walking past. I haven't made a video in 4 months, and I've only really been active on Instagram this past month. So I thought I'd make a little update video explaining where I've been. And I quite like watching these types of videos when I'm training on Star Stable. So if you want to train along with me or clean your room or something, feel free to do so. Well, where on earth do I begin? Like, so much has happened in my personal life, which has been really quite difficult. To cope with, and I won't be going into too much detail in this video, just because I try and have my personal life sort of separate from my Star Stable life, you know. So in around October last year, so October 2022. Gosh, I can't believe I'm saying last year. I was quite close friends with 3 other people, and one of those 3 people included my bestest friend of 3 years. And so we were a group of 4, and the 2 other girls had often got into some very immature and petty arguments. They had gotten better, but in the summer 2022, they had gotten into one, which obviously I won't go into what it was about because it is not really my argument to share. And they decided that they were never going to speak to each other again, which was kind of a regular thing, to be honest. So I didn't really think much of it or take it very seriously. But one of the girls who was involved in the argument, who I will give a fake name, we'll call her, I don't know, Pickle, I thought definitely was the more mature one in the situation, and in my opinion she hadn't done anything wrong, and the other girl was being a bit dramatic. But you know, we all get into I'm gonna have to start it again because I knocked over the barrel. But one thing led to another, and basically my best friend of 3 years had decided to take the side of the other girl and started to hang out with them, and completely left me. But to be honest, she had definitely changed since I first met her, and was very, very rude to me, and just stopped being a good friend, if that even makes sense at all. But saying all of that out loud makes you sound a bit like an idiot, really. Like, it was such a big problem because your friends fell out. But yeah, I don't cope very well with change. Yeah, I don't very cope. Oh, I'm gonna have to really, I can't talk and do this race at the same time. Okay, I was quite heartbroken with the situation, and about basically losing my best friend. Like, I was very, very heartbroken at that time. And I have moved on and I have healed from it now. But you know, some days when I have kind of a bad day and my mindset's a bit low, I really do just think like, wow, you know, I really, really miss her. But oh my gosh, I'm still very grateful to have my amazing friend Pickle, who I still hang out with now, and we're also in another group with another girl who is very lovely as well. So I'm really grateful for them. Oh, I'm going to start again. I think this event kind of caused my mental health to kind of spiral into it getting kind of very low and very, oh, this jump, man, very low and very bad, which, you know, I've had anxiety since I was about I think 9 or 10 maybe, but sometimes my anxiety can be manageable, you know, and I can do. As of September 2022, Manchester United's manager is Eric Ten Hag. Did that answer your question? No. Can you hear? Did you hear that? Oh, that actually scared me so much. I don't know if you just heard that, but my Alexa went off. Oh, that actually really scared me. I don't know if you heard that or not, but that was a very scary experience there. But yeah, anyway, sometimes my anxiety can be manageable, but other times it is just unbearable, and it is so draining to be constantly living in fear or worry. And I've also had quite bad health anxiety, and I think that's kind of stemmed from COVID. So like, I'm forever worried that I have some sort of disease, and any talk of any diseases in like a TV show or anything, I'm convinced that I'm gonna get them. It's completely irrational. Oh, but it is honestly the worst thing ever. Oh, I was feeling low for quite a few weeks, just a bit defeated with the whole thing really, and even before that we had decided to properly, you know, stop hanging out with them, it was a pretty draining couple of weeks with them not speaking to each other, and it made things so unbearably awkward. And I was like, oh, you know what, I'm going crazy, I feel like I'm going insane, I have to speak to somebody about this. And because it was kind of, oh, I missed that it was kind of a school related issue, I thought, oh, you know, I'll go speak to my favourite teacher about this. So I did. I went up to her and I was like, you free to talk at lunch? I did that, and she was very, very lovely about everything that I told her about the situation and what I was feeling, and she always has been really lovely about things, and I'd spoken to her previously before that, and she's always kind of let me, you know, cry to her. And throughout these last few months, she's been nothing but one of my biggest supporters. And yeah, I really, really love her and appreciate all the support she's given me. So my mental health after that was flowing up and down and up and down, and I just didn't have much motivation for Star Stable, really. I mean, I didn't have much I didn't have much motivation for, oh my gosh, motivation for anything, really. Nothing that I enjoyed, I found enjoyable anymore. I was just so focused on getting out of my own head that I didn't want to play Star Stable or even ride sometimes in real life. But also, Star Stable is a game that is changing, and especially during that time, I found the game quite boring. But that could have also just been the fact I didn't have much energy to give to the game. It had to distract me immediately, otherwise, no, you're boring, I'm not going to give any time and effort into it. As I said before, I have struggled with my anxiety for a while. This was really the first time where I felt this constant sadness, where I would cry almost every night or most nights, or some nights, you know, I was completely numb, like I couldn't feel anything at all. Like I wanted to cry, but I couldn't. And that is honestly one of the worst feelings ever, because you have this huge pain in your chest and you just wanna, you're in like so much emotional pain and you just wanna cry and scream, but there's nothing left in you. It's so weird, and feeling numb is just awful. Like, there's a sound on TikTok that's like, it's better to feel pain than nothing at all, and like, I completely agree with that statement. It is better to feel the pain than nothing at all, because the pain shows that we're human and that we are alive. Yeah, but now I think, obviously I still have my bad days, and yeah, I definitely still do have my bad days, but I am wanting to come back to Star Stable and doing my, oh my gosh, why is my space button not working? And doing my like role plays and stuff, because that does make me happy. Like, it's an escape from reality, and I can just, I really enjoy doing role playing, and my club, Forest Park, like, they mean everything to me, and I wouldn't be who I am without this game. So I'm not going to give up on it, and I'm not going to give up on my channel either. I've got so many amazing people who support me and who have my back, and so I'm not going to give up on you guys. So yeah, I am back, and I do have another video in the making, and I'm currently on half term, which, oh my gosh, I'm currently on half term, which, oh, amazing. Whoever invented like half term, Easter holidays, Christmas holidays, thank you. It's just the best, Another story that I have to tell you is that another contributing factor to my absolutely amazing state of mind was a few weeks before half term, maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago now. No, I'd say 3 weeks ago now. I had to do a English literature GCSE mock exam. Yeah, and it was, obviously, if you're not from the UK, GCSE is like these exams. I think they're like similar to, what are they in America? Like the SATs or something? I could be completely wrong with that. But it's like these really important exams that you have to do, and they kind of are base your whole future and what grades you get depend on what college you can get into and what jobs you can get in the future, etc., etc. But this was just a practice test. And okay, I'm really, really bad at English. It's one of these like where you have to write about like a huge essay, like, how did Shakespeare represent male aggression in Romeo and Juliet? Something similar to that. And I just really struggle with that because there's no specific set answer. It's all very opinionated and righty, if that makes sense, which sometimes I am good at, but sometimes it's just really hard to know what to write, and I find it really hard to revise for. And I know it's just a mock exam, but this mock exam was basing what sets we were going to be in, so like top set, second set, third set. And I'm in top set currently. Do not ask me how. I do not know how. And I really want to stay in top set. And when you're in like the top set, there's this huge, enormous pressure to do well. And I, of course, wanted to do well, so I put pressure on myself to do well. So I was really, really nervous for this test. Like, really nervous. And it's in the main hall, so they'd set it out like a proper exam with exam tables and stuff. Oh, and I was so nervous. Like, it was 2 hours, and it was after break, and at break I was stressing. Like, I was talking, my favourite teacher was there. She was actually invigilating the exam, thank goodness. But she said, like, she could just see the stress already in my face, and we hadn't even begun the test yet. It was still a good 15 minutes away. So I'd already got myself completely worked up before. And then when I got in there, I sat down, and I stupidly started with the Blood Brothers question, which I knew that was going to be my weaker question, and I had a full-blown panic attack for 2 hours at my exam table in this hall. So she was invigilating the second hour, but I could not think of anything to write. My mind had completely gone blank. All the context I'd thought of, nothing. I managed to scrape, write a little paragraph for both of the questions. It was really bad. I couldn't think straight, and I was watching, everybody else was writing, and I'm like, how are they writing already? I was just completely panicking. And then in the second hour, I was obviously crying, and then it was definitely the worst panic attack I think I've ever had. And then it definitely progressively got worse, because then, when we had about half an hour left, this teacher came up to me, and he kind of escorted me out. And at this point, I was bawling my eyes out. I could barely breathe properly. I could barely walk because my legs were completely jelly, and just, it was awful. And then he was like, right, let's take some deep breaths. So we took some deep breaths outside the flipping exam hall. And then he took me back in. I don't know why he took me back in, because this is when it got worse. This was when I felt like I couldn't breathe. I thought I was going to pass out. And then I was looking at the words on the sheet of paper, and they were moving. I'm not even kidding. They were moving. And that was when I was like, no, I can't do this. And I got up and left the exam hall. And on my way out, I tripped over a chair, which was so embarrassing. I probably, because it was dead silent, everybody was working, and I, of course, had to trip over a chair just to make things worse. Yeah, so that was not the funnest experience. In this last week, for our school curriculum, we have to do this thing called work experience, and I decided to do my work experience at my riding school, and I was really, really excited for it. And I thought it would be super duper fun and everything, and it really was not. Turns out the owner of this yard that I ride at is a two-faced liar. She is the most horrible person. One of the most horrible people I know. She is just a cow, basically. These are arrogant equestrians, and all she did for the 2.5 days I did, bearing in mind I was supposed to do a week, but I just couldn't, was scream at me. Just absolutely scream at me. And then she got annoyed with me because I was doing it wrong, but was not willing to do it, kind of show me what to do, how she wanted me to do it the right way. And she was supposed to, this is my first time in a working environment. She was supposed to nurture me, but she definitely did not. And then, so Monday and Tuesday, awful days. I came home crying my absolute eyes out both days. And then on Wednesday, it got to about lunchtime, and I was just like, no, I've had a morning of her screaming at me, and her 3-year-old son as well was just absolutely awful. He would kick me so hard in the shins and hit me in inappropriate places, but I couldn't kind of tell him off, because if I said anything to upset this guy, he would scream, have a huge tantrum, and he would go run off and tell the yard owner, and then I would be the one to blame, which obviously I didn't want. And so after I had him kicking about me, I had another huge panic attack. But this one, I was completely out of control, and I couldn't get out of my own head. It was just you have to get out of here, you have to get out of here, you have to get out of here. So I did. I left the yard and just started walking. I was walking on this main road in the middle of nowhere, And luckily I'd called my dad, and my dad was just saying that all he could hear was these cars like rushing past this main road. And I completely wasn't thinking at the time, but like someone easily could have taken me, because I was in the middle of nowhere wandering around. Then luckily he called my aunt, because both of my parents were stuck in meetings and they couldn't come and get me. Oh, but I'm so glad that my aunt came to get me that day. And she was actually so cool. Like, she could clearly see that I was distressed. Then she took me to McDonald's, and then we watched Miranda. Like, it was actually, I wasn't gonna say it was the best day, but it was a really good bonding experience. We had a good time. Yeah, but I think that covers everything. A few life updates for you all. So let me just come up here and I can end the video. But yeah, that experience, it really kind of put me off riding. And obviously I love riding, but I don't know if I'm gonna go back there or not. Just the whole thought of being screamed at and ever setting foot in that place again, it just really makes me feel uneasy. And every time I think about it, that experience, I feel really uneasy. But yeah, and also one of the main reasons I wanted to make this video and speak about my struggles is to let people know that they aren't alone, Talking about our shared struggles can really, really help. And to anyone out there now who is struggling, please always, 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 always ask for help. I know how scary it is, and believe me, I know it's absolutely terrifying, but asking for help to my favourite teacher was the bestest and bravest thing that I've ever done. But please, if you ever feel alone and you don't have anyone to reach out to me, You can DM me on Instagram and I will do my absolute best to help you. But yeah, thank you very, very, very much for watching this video, and I will see you soon in another video. I've forgotten what my outro is. But yeah, I'll see you very soon. Have a great day or night wherever you are. Bye!